In this video, the .playground file is really going to live up to its name because we're going to do a lot of playing around and use this sidebar here a lot to see how our different actions influence our array. So to get to it, we have this array named dog names, and it's an array of string values, right? We have these 3 strings that we've passed into it. So first trick that we're going to show here is how to get the count of how many items are in the array. So to do this, we simply say dog names.count, and this returns to us how many items are in there. If you want to know if the array is empty, you simply call .isEmpty. And a place that this could be used is, let's say you need to do some sort of manipulation with the array. You can say if this dog names array is not empty, we're going to do the following. So that's how to kind of check how many values are in the array. Let's now talk about adding values into this array. So we have our 3 here, but we decided we want to add a new dog name. So let's do .append and throw in Sarah into the mix. So what append does is it takes whatever item you pass into it and puts it on, I misspelled Sarah, it puts it on the end of the array. So we had these 3, right? We appended Sarah, and now she exists on the end of the array. But if you want to do this in an alternate way, you can do the plus equals and pass in Sarah here. Say RAH. Boom, and it's the exact same effect. So that's how you add items onto the end of an array. And if you want to add more than one value, you can pass in an array literal. So we'll pass in Sarah, and we're going to pass in Parker, right? And it puts both of those values on the end of the array. So, I mean, if you ever needed to add a bulk number of items, you can utilize that. So let's talk about how to access values in the array. So let's say we want to get the very first item in the array. Now, something to know with arrays is that they are 0 indexed. And what this means is when we're counting through an array, rather than saying 1, 2, 3, we count 0, 1, 2. So if we wanted the first item in this array, we're going to ask for the 0th item, right? So and to do that, you just do the name of the array, some square brackets, and then pass in the index number of which item you want. So here we're saying give us the value at the 0 position, and Fido is at the 0 position. So if we want the one that is the last item in the array, which is Marcus, we pass in 2, right? Because we go 0, 1, 2. And we can see here that it gives us Marcus. And we also use this to change specific values in the array. So if we wanted to change, let's change the middle one here. So let's change Sean to a different name. We're going to change Sean to Parker. You can see we used assignment here to say, give me the item in the array at the first position, 0, 1, and we're going to change it to Parker. So something else that you can do with Swift that's pretty tricky is you can say, all right, I want to change the last 2. Well, this is better if we have more, so we'll add some more dog names on here. Parker, and maybe we'll do Marcus here. Okay, so now we have 5 dog names, and let's say I want to change the last 3 items in this dog array to something else. So we're going to say from 2 all the way to 4, so this is going to give us 2, 3, 4, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want these to be different values, so we have an array literal here. I'm just going to make A, B, and C for the sake of time. But you can see when we do this that now Marcus, Parker, and Marcus have been changed to A, B, and C. So the tricky thing with Swift is let's say, because here we're saying we want to change these 3 values with these 3. What if we only pass it 2 values? Well, it assigns 2 and then just gets rid of that extra space there. And what happens if we add 1? It's the exact same thing. So that's a neat feature of Swift when you're trying to manipulate arrays. Now let's say you want to insert a specific item at a specific point in the array. So, if we did an append on the end of this array, let's kind of clear this back down. If we do an append, it will add it after Marcus, but let's say we wanted to put something between Fido and Sean. We can do the name of the array dot insert, and we pass in the value that we want to put in there. So let's put Parker into there, and we're going to put it at index 1. So you can see here, it's taken Parker and it's thrown it in between Fido and Sean. So now where Sean used to be at the 1 index, it's now at the 2 index. So that's what the insert is. You can do the same thing, or I guess the opposite, with removing. So if you use this remove it index, we'll just say, we don't like Sean and all, let's get rid of him. So we pass that 1. This says, okay, let's go to the item at the 1 position and just completely delete it and shrink the array down by 1. So you can see we had the 3 here, we remove it index 1, and now becomes just Fido and Marcus. So one last trick here, if you want to remove the last item, there's a specific call here to say remove last, and that simply takes the last item in the array and deletes it. So that was a whole mouthful. Hopefully you got most of that, but there's a lot of different manipulation things that you can do with arrays, and you'll see, especially if you're working with things like table views in iOS programming, you're going to be using arrays a lot, so it's good to get familiar with this stuff.